afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Propagandacast Addendum as I continue to look through the different factions for what commanders could definitely do with an overhaul. Today's edition is going to be the Oberkommando West, which, while definitely has a bunch of good commanders, there's still some that could, I think, easily do with an overhaul. I mean, we're basically looking at Elite Armored, Overwatch, and Scavenge. Which you definitely think three doctrines are in dire need of an overhaul, though, of course, with only two Babels really available. I'd probably say Elite Armored, and I'd probably also say Scavenge. As for Elite Armored, it's already theoretically cool, but it's got so many really, useless abilities that don't do much. I mean, Signal Relay sounds neat, but the problem is the Overcross to an extent already has a lot of stuff that can do the same one way or the other. They got the infrared half track, cool providing can theoretically do it, and they just got a lot of reconnaissance vehicles. I mean, it's not like you need to really reveal stuff like that on the mini-map. Emergency repairs is, well, the worst self-repair ability in the game. Only fixes criticals, takes ages to do so, plus it can be abandoned while doing so. And again, you're trying to fix a critical, you're going to come under fire in most situations, so it's just really bad. And then you got the heat rounds, a decent ability, not amazingly, but again, for the rest of the doctrine, just isn't worth it, doesn't outweigh the rest because that would be broken. And then you got Panzer Commander, which is just not very good either. I mean, has some extra abilities, but the artillery call-in is probably the worst artillery call-in in the game. Simply because it costs a lot and is really slow to arrive and is not very accurate. Like, it just doesn't do a lot. And then you finally got the Sturmtiger, which part of me personally would remove, but I don't think that'd go over very well, so obviously that one stays. But I definitely think, Signal Relay and Emergency Repairs can go. Maybe sneak Emergency Repairs to go with the Panzer Commanders when you upgrade them, this ability, similar, just better, but just, again, it might cost 30 munitions, doesn't leave them super vulnerable, just, still take some time, fix the critical, and then they can move on. I mean, at least that way, the Panzer Commander upgrade a bit better when they also fix the artillery strike, basically give it the same, do over the Major Scout or the artillery field officer of the Wehrmacht got, just make it a cheaper one, not necessarily too devastating, still decent, just, something you can actually call in occasionally to deal with stuff. I think that'd make the Panzer Commander overall a lot better. At that stage, we then sort of essentially freed up two abilities within the doctrine, while at the same time overhauling Panzer Commander to at least be, I think, much more valuable. And then, of course, the question becomes, well, what do we then stuff in instead? I mean, again, Elite Armored. Oh, right, we need something that says Elite and says Armored. Obviously, in that regard, it could be equipment, it could be tactics being utilised. Of course, Elite Armored Sturmtiger seems a bit weird, but, again, we got to deal with that. And just ignore it, I guess. So, I mean, what could others, ways to describe Elite Armor besides, bigger tanks, which, seems a bit weird. It's probably just, give them more ability, maybe give them some sort of special infantry that can work together with them, maybe. I mean, one option would seem to be to maybe add in half-tracks. I mean, again, for all of the Oberkommando stuff, they still don't have half-tracks. I mean, Elite Armored units usually had support from mechanized infantry, specifically mechanized armored infantry. So, I mean, sneaking in the 250 on the half-track without the flamethrower, but instead maybe with some sort of bonus like the Ober Blitz has to support nearby infantry, could very well be an idea to at least make it feel more elite that way, and just, actually sort of make more sort of room for different tactics within the Oberkommando West. Possibly they could also add in the Spearhead ability, which the King Tiger gets, but instead give it to the Panther 4 and the Panther that is, locks the turret, gives them more of a line of sight, but also gives them forward machine guns, some suppression. That could actually be an interesting idea there as well for Elite Armored. So that's probably what I suggest, sort of Spearhead, and then, a half-track that doesn't have a flamethrower, but then boost nearby troops. Maybe healing, maybe makes them more accurate, maybe just makes them fire faster. I think any of those could really, help it stand out more. And of course, removing Signal Relay, Emergency Repairs, and somehow making a lighter Emergency Repairs with Panzer Commander while he gets a better artillery strike. I think that way Elite Armored would stand out a lot more. And then it's either, Overwatch or Scavenge. Overwatch is some uses has something there, but at the same time it's pretty weak. But then again, Scavenge just pretty much just fell off the map because once the Osprey wants to call in, because the rest of the doctrine is kinda fneh. I mean, most of the abilities just, from elsewhere. You got the artillery strike, which sort of stands out as unique, and you got the Jaeger-like infantry recon squad. Kind of the Osprey, but again, even that just sort of feels a bit weird. I mean, Scavenge. What does Osprey's have to do with Scavenge? Not an awful lot. So in this regard, I'd probably just remove infiltration tactics, thorough salvage, and actually remove the Osprey. And you ask, well, what are we going to stuff in instead? Well, Scavenge. The Germans were known for scavenging. How about we give them some tank that sort of feels more scamgy? How about giving them an Allied tank? A Sherman tank they can build maybe. I mean, that'd be interesting at the very least. You know, maybe like a 76 with a Sherman. They actually used a bunch of those, in fact, during Operation Northwind. They was able to seize an entire American tank company and ship that off to the Eastern Front. So, I mean, that could be an option there. You know, give them something a bit different, something that stands out a bit. You know, make it feel, you know, more scavenge-like. Maybe, you know, sneak in some other weapons for the Fultz guns to be upgraded with. Maybe PPH-41s or Thompsons, you know, again, that way, you know, just look a bit outside of the box, and that way, you know, give something, you know, a bit more interesting, a few more options that sort of makes the doctrine stand out more. So again, like say, you know, captured Sherman, maybe again some captured submachine guns, either the Americans or the search for the Fultz gun leaders. All of a sudden again, hey, this is starting to look like something. And then maybe finally, you know, there could be something else. Though what that could be a bit harder to say. Maybe just, you know, some S-mounts for the Fultz kind of deals or something like that, and, you know, maybe they can build bunkers. I mean, again, that's a bit of a reach, but I'm a bit sure about the third ability. I mean, maybe just leave thorough salvage in there, or maybe sort of change a slightly different version of it, but like they maybe just get more fuel than instead of munitions. I mean, that could be an idea as well. But I think that would certainly make Scavenge stand out more, and sort of make it more of a unique doctrine. I mean, again, certainly you can get a different type of tank, which would certainly have some advantages from time to time. Plus, again, it just, you know, look cool, and sometimes just being cool can also help out. And again, I think this Scavenge doctrine right now lacks a severe degree of cool factor. Again, it's just the doctrine that has a lot of other stuff, which most of the other doctrines have, but it doesn't really do anything unique. But, you know, maybe some sort of, you know, like finisher ability instead of the howitzers to sort of go along with the howitzer barrage, maybe. Maybe they can call in a, you know, captured half-track. I mean, they actually used those during the Battle of the Addendum. So that was the, I can't quite remember the number. There was an SS Panzer Brigade under Scorsini, and they actually had a bunch of half-tracks they used. I mean, that could also be an idea, you know, give them access to the M3 half-track, maybe with some troops in it. That way, you know, could also, you know, be a call-in. So it's like sort of weird mechanized unit for the Oberkommando West that sort of, you know, has a captured Sherman, sort of, you know, the finisher there. I mean, that could be pretty interesting, you know, to make it stand out a lot more. So that would certainly be a suggestion there from me anyways. I mean, Overwatch you could also do something with, but again, it's just an even weirder doctrine. Overwatch in itself is just really vague. I mean, it's sort of, you know, like, you know, again, sort of reconnaissance, sort of artillery. Like, how do we do that? At least with scavenging, you can sort of say, alright, scavenging, that means, you know, using whatever's available to hand. I mean, that we can do with. So again, I'd probably say scavenge and elite armored, and again, you know, those suggestions I just made. So do you agree or do you not? Let me know in the comments, and of course subscribe, like, share, comment, and if you do subscribe, remember to press the little bell, otherwise YouTube's going to be not necessarily too keen on reminding you about a new video. So thank you all, and again, if you enjoyed it, do all of those things, and of course sign off in the comments. I'll be back another time with another video as I keep thinking about what we can sort of do to overhaul some more of these commanders. Cheers, everybody.